everyone. My name is Nicholas Landell. I'm the manager for our beautiful French farm. I'm also the director of our Europe, Middle East, and African farms. So this means that I have a wonderful farm in the south of France with a beautiful landscape, and we actually have a store in the castle of the village, just to let you know. But I also get to go to Croatia and enjoy life there and work on the farm there, go to Oman and stuff. So basically, to put it simply, I have the best job ever. Kind of good. The French farm, we grow lavender. That's our main crop. The reason why is that lavender is actually a native plant. So you can find it growing in the wild around the farm. And at Young Living, we start our farm in those weird locations because of this, because of where do the plants grow. We want to keep them in their natural habitat. We understand the oil that they produce there and the quality, which is extremely important. It's easier for us to actually grow them there because we don't have to change the soil, try and work against nature or irrigate and do all those things, because that's where the plants usually are used to grow. But actually, the impact of the location is huge. So if I were to take these plants and grow it here or there, the oil is going to be completely different. And this is something we need to measure, understand, because the elevation, the weather, the amount of sun, everything will actually impact the oil level. And we keep our plants in their natural habitat, and that's why we not only grow lavender in France, but we also grow other plants that you can find growing in the wild. So we have clary sage, hyssop, oregano, fennel, rosemary, helichrysum, einkorn. We do a lot of einkorn because it's a beautiful rotation crop with our lavender. So those are all the plants that we grow because they're local. It's actually the lavender that we grow and the plants that we grow are grown from seeds. And this is part of our standard that is very dear to us, seed to seal, that says that we need to control the quality out of each step of producing the oil until it's brought to you. And seed is the start. Seed means that we collect seeds from a field, that we grow a starter and we plant this into our field, and that means that each of our plants are different. There's going to be, for each plant in that field, different in size, different in color, and a different in smell and oil that it produces. This diversity we find in our essential oil, which adds a lot to the quality of the oil, but also it adds a lot to the sustainability of the plants. We have a difference in the plants, so they can adapt to heat, to missing water a lot more, because some plants might not survive, and then we collect seeds from those who have. And so there's an ongoing kind of adaptation with our fields. Now, I'll say all this for a simple reason. We're actually the last ones to do this. There's nobody else that's growing from seeds lavender anymore almost. Everybody else is doing selections and clonal, trying to improve their yields and have the same color, size plants, because they're all the same, they're all clones that they've selected for the year. So it takes the same amount of work that I have to put in my fields. It takes the same energy at distillation, yet they can get up to 5-6 times more essential oil from the same size field. But it's not the same. There's no diversity. It's the same plant. For me, if I have 1 hectare or 2 acres of lavender, I get 12,000 different plants in there. And that difference, I bring it together when I distill. For them, not at all. It's all the same plant. You have 1 plant. And the sustainability doesn't exist in it. And actually, for those who are here at convention, if you notice, you have each of the farms are in a circle. We start at the very first farm that Young Living established, St. Mary's, and we go down the line to the very last farm, which is the Okinawa farm. But we all have something in the middle in common, which is conservation. Because everything we do on our farm is about conservation and protection of what gives us the best quality oil. We cannot degrade the soil and the area where we are, because it's not possible. We work to preserve what we do and continuing on the protection to obtain the best quality oil. So that's what it is, and we set up this way for that.
So this is the last farm that does lavender, or Young Living is the last company that does lavender from seeds, and everywhere else is clonal, you said.
Yep.
And what exactly does that mean, cloned?
It means that a copy of you, a copy of you, a copy of you, 10,000 you make a
The DNA is the same. How do they...
So if I cut here and I put it in water, it's going to grow roots. right?
Okay.
Have you ever done this with like a basil stem, something? When you do so, you do not actually make a new plant, you do a copy of this plant. And so that means that if you do this 12,000 times, it's not exactly like that, but if you do this 12,000 times, you obtain a whole field of just its exact plant. It's going to have the same color flowers, it's going to have the same size, it's going to produce the same oil.
But when you use the seeds, it has changes based on the weather and the soil and all the different...
No, based on the fact that it has different parents. It's
Okay.
the same logic. The seed is unique. That means that even I could have white flower lavender, I could have very tall blue lavender and very short deep purple lavender in my fields. And actually every plant is different. Every plant produces a very single unique essential oil that I, when distilled, bring all those plants together and I have this richness.
And it's
in the
more
oil.
therapeutic.
I have a richness and I have a diversity in my oil. For the therapeutic part, it's not me that can answer that question. My job is to obtain a certain quality and make sure that we do the best and do the research to prove that it's the best. Then you can go to the science part.
Thank you very
Across
much.
the way over there.
Thank you for sharing all that
Yeah,
with
my
us.
pleasure.